my boy Mark was over here trying to confess his love to Eve, and then he gets a call on the phone from Cecil talking about some damn every single hero in America has been captured. So they suit up and go down to where the heroes was captured, and it's in the underground, the deep dark pits of the earth. And this old ass dude, Doc Seismic, was the one that captured all the heroes. And the bare minimum amount of heroes that got captured was 28. And I'm just like, brother, how does the boys do this concept of there being a hero in every state better than Invincible superheroes in America? I mean, in Invincible, y'all be fighting niggas in outer space and you only have 28 heroes in the United States of America? The best nigga they got in the boys universe is a kinda strong dude that can fly and shoot lasers out of his eyes. And they over here got this superhero in every state gimmick locked down better than y'all. Yeah, man, Cecil, you suck. But Mark and Eve pull up on Doc Seismic, tell him bro to stop, go back to jail. He's like, yeah, whatever, man. Claps and summons big ass centipedes and giant ass lava men too. But Mark and Eve start handling these big ass centipedes as best they can, as we see Cecil watching in from a signal robot done sent them. Then Cecil asks Donald, like, damn, we don't got no more superheroes left? And Donald's like, brother, you said he took every superhero in the United States. We don't got nobody close. Alright then, drop pods 1 through 3. But we go back to the Mark and Eve squabbles, and Mark done pulled up on these big ass magma men. Slammed old dude on the ground, then gripped up magma man number 2 by the chest like a basketball, and then chunked both these dudes at this big ass centipede as they bodies went splat on that nigga. Imagine your whole purpose just being damaged to another guy. Mark pulls up on Brozo with this nasty ass 3-piece, and then he ends that bitch off with this mean ass uppercut. But that centipede uses his face pincers and back Mark up as we go to Doc Seismic, and bro just starts glazing. As we see what Eve is doing, and she is getting back in the corner by these big ass worms. She puts up a shield and that shit got broken immediately as Mark tells bro to go free everybody while he has her back. Mark started pushing these worms back as Eve started hauling ass to free the squad. She almost got snuck by this big ass centipede, but Mark pulled up, blocking that nigga just in time. But Doc Seismic pulls up on Eve. Thunder claps her right in the face, knocking her ass out, and Mark is pissed. Understandably so, man. Mark was just trying to confess to her ass 3 minutes ago. He pushed that centipede off of him. That centipede said, alright, little nigga. Chomped that nigga Mark down, had him pinned. Mark over here trying to break this fang off of him. He does, but he's poisoned, woozy, dazed and confused, Schmeckledorfed even. Doc Seismic pulls up on Invincible, puts his hand on his chin, and booms him with this mean ass shockwave. Knocks the little bro all the way out. Once he wakes up, he's in a cocoon with Eve, and he is trying to get them both out of there. But before that can happen, Doc Seismic's trying to boom all the superheroes by closing this cave that they're in on them. But before he could do that, a shuriken stops him from doing that. Doc Seismic turns around, and it's a black man as 4 pods come shooting down into this cave. And what comes out of these pods is like 14 Reanimen. And Mark is rightfully upset, because these are the same dudes that abducted his friend, turned him into half a robot, and almost beat Mark to death. And Cecil just got a bunch more of them made by the same nigga. Also, that scuffed Batman was just murdering niggas in scuffed Gotham City. But now he's just working with Cecil, which is cool too, I guess. The Reanimen don't waste no time. They get to work immediately, start freeing all the heroes. Then we see all the heroes and the Reanimen just jumping the centipedes and magma men, while Mark in the cut not feeling any of it. Cecil said he was gonna lock them niggas up, and now they're working for him? Brother man said, forget the mission, I'm finna see these niggas with their hands real quick. Takes the Reanimen that just freed him and Eve out of this cocoon for a ride. Absolutely folded, cuz. Doc Seismic over here realizing that he's finna lose because all the superheroes is putting belt to ass on the centipedes and magma men. So he's like, fuck it. He starts trying to collapse the cave again. But this time he don't care about who goes up. He said everybody here gots to go. Mark was finna scoop his ass up, but Darkwing popped up out of Doc Seismic's shadow and gets his ass yoked into the shadow realm. And now that Doc Seismic's gone, all them big ass bugs like, well, damn, I ain't know y'all had it like that, and dipped. All the heroes regroup, and then Dark Shadow pulls back up with Doc Seismic as Mark pulls up on this nigga and shoulder bashes the hell out of cuz. He said, yeah man, Black History Month don't work for you, nigga. And Mark starts going off on Darkwing and the Reanimen because one of them niggas supposed to be in jail and the other side of them niggas not even supposed to be made. Then Immortal gonna pull up on some damn just calm down Invincible. This like Chaozu trying to make a threat, brother. The only reason that you are so valuable is because you are immortal. You don't hit on shit for real. Rex really the MVP of the Guardians of the Globe. This nigga immortal just lives. But Marky Mark tired of the BS, so he starts flying over there to Cecil, trying to have a man-to-man with bro. And them boys, they is talking, they is yapping, and then Mark just like, why the hell did you need those guys? And then Cecil's like, we needed things like that in case niggas like you didn't work, or I needed protection from you. Mark's like, protection from me? What do you need protection from me from, nigga? But Cecil also started throwing that Angstrom Levy trauma back at Mark, just for Mark to follow Cecil into the White Room. And then Cecil hits Mark with the G's, kid, you're scaring me. Yeah, man, this nigga Cecil's a cop-ass nigga. Shoulda knew never to trust a nigga that hairline started the back of their head. We get a little flashback of young Cecil, and I'm only covering this because young Cecil was actually throwing them things. Bro just goes into this clothing store, pulls out that Yao Meaner, having everybody get up out of there. Absolutely scaring the life out of the cashier too. He goes to the back, he doesn't see what he's looking for, so then he calls in saying that it was a bust, just to get pulled up on by that same cashier. And then she took her fit off to reveal another fit, and I'm like, hold on a second. Why she kinda bad though? He tried to call back up, but she done snagged his phone and broke that bitch too. Took bro's blicky as well. As she pulls up on bro, whiffs the two-piece. She gets hit with the left and she tries to respond back with these multiple jabs, but Cecil just blocked them hoes. Just for Cecil to try to hit this mean ass, wind it up ass right. Just for her to dodge it and kick this nigga 14 feet back. Cecil got up, put out a stun gun. She tried to kick dog. Cecil blocked to have a little weave off until she kicks this nigga in the back of the ankle just to get this nasty ass two-piece. I mean, ragdolling this nigga Cecil. He dropped a stun gun and she just started pressuring this nigga backwards with these kicks, and then she uppercut this nigga through his guard. Yeah, brother, go ahead, put them hands down. It don't matter what you're doing, you finna get hit, gang. Cecil whiffs again just to get kneed in the sternum and his ass kicked away. And shorty over here talking about bombing the city on some shit. As she's backing Cecil up, he tries to throw this punch. She catches that bitch and just breaks his hand. Cecil whiffs a two-piece again. I ain't gonna lie, I gotta give it to Cecil. Still trying to punch with a broken ass hand is nuts. But shorty just grabbed his ass up and kicked his ass into these cabinets. But Cecil done grabbed that stun gun and tased her ass. Cecil goes to try to undo that bomb, but he gets pulled up on by another nigga and he starts doing Cecil in. I mean, god damn. But backup really does arrive. When he called earlier and said it's a bust, that was actually secret code. So they pulling up. So now these G.I. Joe rejects activate the bomb anyways. And that bitch is just like a pathogen, just starts melting they skin off. Cecil goes to close the door to stop the gas from spreading any further, but it's still frying, cooking his ass. Bro over here looking like a can of potted meat. But Cecil passes out, gets helped, gets synthetic skin put on him, and that's where he got that freaky ass scar on his face. Back to what's actually important though, Cecil done called the Reanimen to surround this nigga Mark. And Mark's over here still tripping over that "you're scaring me, kid" comic, cause Mark's like, nigga, I'm not even doing nothing. Tries to walk towards Cecil, and one of the Reanimen grabs Mark by the arm. Oh yeah, it's up for these bitch ass niggas. Mark turns around and punches the jawline off of this nigga. The Reanimen start bum rushing Mark. One of them pulls up on Cuz, he grabs him by the arm, rips that bitch right off. Reanimen number 275 pulls up on Mark and he gets punched right through the sternum. Punches this nigga through the head as he's talking crazy to Cecil. And we just see Mark in the background going to town on the Reanimen, bro. He is not giving these niggas a single chance. Hey man, I'll tell you this right now, man. Me and Mark Grayson, we like this. What Mark did to this Reanimen was a little OD. He punched a hole through bro's stomach, ripped his body in half, grabbed him by his entrails, and used him to beat up two other niggas. Like, brother man, you did not need to do all that. That was kind of crazy, but pop off, I guess. 4 more Reanimen pull up. One of them sneaks Mark, pushing his ass back, having him trip over the bodies he done made. But that was the first and last punch bro got, because he got his head punched off. The other two got their jaws realigned. And what Mark did to this fourth one was kind of crazy too, man. He punched him in the gut so hard, the only thing left from his body was his legs from the knees down. I mean, turn that brother into splat. After that, Mark says, "Is that all you got?" And what that nigga Dashy be saying, man, don't count your chickens, because Cecil turned off the White Room, and yeah, it's just an army of Reanimen. As Cecil's talking crazy to Mark, and pause. Look at this nigga Cecil's dome piece. Hammerhead shark built ass boy, nigga. This is diabolical, brother. government spent all that money giving you synthetic skin, but they couldn't fix this fucking wallop you got going on right here, brother. Like, get a toupee, nigga. Damn. But Mark's been getting tired of Cecil's shit. He was pulling up on bro, getting ready to punch his lights out, but Cecil pressed this button and this loud ass ringing noise went off in Mark's head. He done put a weapon in Mark's head to control him whenever he wanted to. I mean, that noise sat Mark's ass down. And Cecil's over here still trying to talk to Mark to have him work for him. And nigga, you're working with my ops? You put a weapon in my head? Why would I work for you? But Cecil takes his finger off the button, tells Mark to go home, and Mark's like, nigga, I'm not listening to you no more, gangy. Flies up out of there with the most aggressive ass force, man. This is the equivalent of getting into an argument with your parents and slamming the door. As Mark's flying, Cecil presses that button again, dropping Mark down to the ground because that noise is messing up his equilibrium and he cannot fly without that bitch. Cecil still talking to Mark, trying to have bro work for him, even compares him to his dad, and that's where Mark draws the line. He flies up out of there, flying all across the world, while Cecil has to hop through these portals just to try to catch up to him. Mark goes flying towards the Guardians of the Globe base. Cecil presses the button and Mark goes crashing right through the base as he's over here asking Rudy to take this chip out of his head. But Cecil's bitch ass done poured it into the Guardians Globe base and he's like, hey, don't listen to that nigga. He presses the button and starts having Mark convulsing on the floor in front of the Guardians of the Globe. Now they looking at Cecil crazy because it's like, bro, everything that you might have had to say just got thrown out the window because you're over here torturing my nigga Marcus. Not only that, Reanimen just start popping up out of nowhere as Cecil's getting ready to tag and bag Mark. But then the Guardians are like, hey bro, Mark's our boy. We is not finna let this slide. Rex starts throwing bombs at niggas and they start going off on these Reanimen. I mean, they is beating the Reanimen's bitch ass right now. But Rex sees that Cecil's still pressing that button, having Mark have a damn near seizure on the ground, so he throws his bombs at Cecil's hand, blowing that bitch up. But Robot says stop way too late because it didn't matter if you blew up the remote control, there's a backup control at the GDA. Robot's trying to block out the frequency, but the Reanimen pull up on Mark while he's tweaking and they just start beating this nigga's back end. I mean, they is pummeling bro, putting the pots and pans to his spinal cord. Monster Girl over here trying to help out the best she can, but Robot blocks the frequency just in time. And oh nah, this nigga Mark finna crash out. Cause Mark gets up, cuts this Reanimen in half, and then cuts two in half at the same time. Punched this nigga so hard, his body flew back, and once it hit something solid, he turned it to splat. He grabs his nigga head and squeezes bro to death. He is moving just like his pops. He rips this nigga in half, hammer fist this nigga to death, punch the upper body off of this Reanimen, and Mark really got the Guardians of the Globe base looking like how Nolan did the Guardians of the Globe in their own base in season 1. But Mark scooped up Cecil, choking this nigga out, telling him he's never gonna work for him and to never come near his family again. Got the whole team shook, understandably so, and then he asked Rudy to take this weapon out of his head. And I'm just gonna play it to y'all because he said that shit to Rudy so aggressive.
Rudy, get this fucking thing out of my head. Now.
Yes. Of course.
I know Rudy was scared out of his mind, shaking out of his boots, but I know this nigga Mark would not be talking to me like that, bro. I don't care how angry you is. You don't watch your tone with me, little nigga. The Guardians of the Globe split up because they realized Cecil's not on shit, but you know, niggas like Immortal, Black Samson, Shapesmith, and Kate stay. And I be forgetting Immortal's weird ass is engaged to Kate. Like Immortal, there is an entire portion of the Super Bowl halftime show dedicated to niggas like you. You freaky frog, man, you cannot fuck that little ass dog. But yeah, man, that's the end of the fights. Invincible Season 3, we are back. And for all my comic heads that read Invincible, we know we got some shit coming this season. But with that being said, that's the end of the video. Moral of the story is there's always a choice. You don't gotta stoop down low to help some people. You can always be better. But with that being said, if you liked, like, comment, subscribe, do the good stuff, and yeah, I'm out of here. Bye.